Welcome to the Private Practice Survival Guide podcast with your host, Brandon Seigel. I'm a published author, speaker, entrepreneur, and private practice strategist dedicated to transforming the way that healthcare functions. This podcast is all about empowering you to create the change you want to see. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Private Practice Survival Guide podcast. This is our quick tip episode, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about why we measure a client's net value versus gross value when calculating ROI. And I think this is such a crucial step, and I'll tell you what ended up happening. I had this orthopedic physical therapy clinic, and we were spending $5,000 a month in marketing. And we were getting, give or take, about 50 leads, okay? 50 leads for $5,000. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, that was really good. Of that 50 leads, we probably got, give or take, maybe 10 clients from that. So we were excited. We're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. $500 a lead, etc. All of that's great. And what we didn't recognize, though, was that although we had 5 clients, and the 5 clients were worth, I'm going to call it like $5,000 in lifetime value. So we're like, look, this is easy. $500, $5,000. This is a home run. I'm spending $500 to get $5,000. Well, really, yeah, $500 for $5,000. But here was the issue. The issue was I never recognized at the time that $5,000 was on average less than $100 of net value because our therapists were taking like 98% of the revenue. So I basically said, what I am doing is I am paying so that I can feed my therapists, and I had nothing left over. So I actually was paying the clients to get money because I thought that I was making money, but I didn't recognize how limited my net profit margin was. So when I added in that extra expense, it took all the profit and I went to negative. So the quick answer is, why do we measure a client's net value? So that we understand that the cost of the marketing, there's still going to be money left over. And so when we're looking at this, I really want you to recognize that this comes down to our net profit margin. So if you look at last year's net profit margin, you're like, we are at a 15% net profit. That means that your client's lifetime value is 15% of the gross revenue that they bring in. And within that amount of money, that's how we figure out our marketing budget. That's how we figure out, hey, what can I spend? How much can I spend? Why can I spend, etc. And so many people get this backwards. They're like, Brandon, I've got $1 million account. I just spent $25,000 for $1 million account. And I'm like, how much will you see after you spend everything on that $1 million account? They're like, $25,000. I'm like, so you basically just made a wash. You spent $25,000 for $25,000 earning. And I'm using simple numbers, but you get my point. We need to craft that net value. And if your net value is too low, so then here's the other challenge you bring to me. You say, hey, Brandon, here's the problem. I'm paying staff to be here, and they don't have clients. So for every day that I don't market, I'm paying for staff to be here and I don't have the work. So you have 2 options. One option is you basically calculate if spending on marketing is going to be cheaper than someone working and getting paid, or not working and getting paid, or which one is cheaper. Is it more economical for me to have, because here's another idea. I make them market. The person that doesn't have to caseload spends their time versus me spending on marketing to say, I'm going to pay them anyway. Let's get the most out of them. Let's have them cold call. Let's have them call doctors. Let's have them call patients. Let's have them call the Rotary Club, whatever that may be. Maybe they're going to networking, et cetera. Or, you're not going to like this, but Maybe we're overstaffed. Maybe we need a downshift. These are all things to look at. What I am trying to prevent is sometimes we grow too fast, and sometimes the larger we grow, the less money we have left over. Did you know that sometimes you may be more successful with 30% of $1 million than 1% of $5 million or whatever it is? You get my point. So recognizing what that meat on the bone is, and part of that meat on the bone is understanding how to measure a client's net value, understanding the ways that we structure that measurement, and putting it into an actual client net value cost per acquisition. So, hey, I've got $5,000 of marketing budget, and each client's net value is $50,000. So we have a 10% budget of our net revenue. That is what we're putting in. And so you're going to see companies take anywhere from 5 to 25% of gross revenue. But my concern is sometimes even 5% of gross revenue when you have a very low margin. So think of it this way. Are you ready? You've got a 5% marketing budget and a 15% net profit. That means that you are shrinking your net profit to 10%. If you're taking 5% of your gross revenue and putting it towards marketing, that will potentially reduce your net profit by that 5%. But if you take 5% of your net profit, that's much less. So if I have $1,000 net profit and $1 million gross revenue, 5% of 1,000 is less than 5% of $1 million. These are all the things we need to play with. This is the number crunching game. This is why we break out our Rubik's Cube of Brandon business knowledge and we spin it till we dial it in. See, the one thing you have to recognize is that most people in this world are more focused on selling you than helping you. I mean this sincerely. I'm here to help you. I'm here to keep you out of the snake oil. And there's a lot of snake oil in marketing. So it's really critical that you find the right people, but you also have the right expectations. Some people have the wrong expectations. And I recognize that with every first marketing action is a risk. And I look at marketing, and this might be very, might be unique of me. And I actually, my master's classes were in marketing. So my emphasis was in marketing, but I don't consider myself a marketer. But when I look at marketing, in my opinion, I think of marketing as an exercise and activity to figure out what works. Because I think each business opportunity is different and it takes time. And that's why in marketing we do A/B testing. That's why it's solving a puzzle. And some of you come in with the wrong mindset, which is marketing creates results. Research and marketing creates results. I'm going to say that again. Research and marketing creates results. So the first research we're going to do is we're going to figure out our net value. We're going to figure out our client acquisition cost. We're going to figure out industry standards for common acquisition costs in our industry. What is the average acquisition expense in your area, in your region? And that's where when you're dealing with marketing companies, it's talking about, let's go over data. Let's discuss from a data-driven standpoint, but I don't want to hear about impressions. I don't want to hear about the actual, to me, when someone says we had 1,000 impressions, that's like you telling a patient you had 1,000 visits. Well, that's great. We had 1,000 visits. What do we have to show from it? What did we actually achieve here? Well, we had 1,000 people come through our door. Okay. Tell me more. Give me more. Well, they engaged for 3 seconds on your website. Okay. Give me more. Well, 3 of them filled out your form. Okay. Tell me more. Well, I don't know. Now it's on you. No. We have to be throughout that whole synergy. So when we measure net value, We're calculating and figuring out what the value in an ideal scene will be so that we can come up with that acquisition budget. And so did you know healthcare practices that actively track and respond to key financial metrics experience a 42% higher profit margin than those who don't? They know where their expenses are going. That's according to 2024 Medical Practice Financial Report. Peter Sondergaard says information is the oil of the 21st century and analytics is the combustion engine. I want you to do research and analytics, and I want you to make the difficult decisions of how to spend money with the greatest risk to reward ratio that works for your business model. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Quick Tips with the Private Practice Survival Guide podcast. I hope that this has been helpful, and I would be greatly appreciative if you subscribe, if you like us, if you share us with the world. Reach out. I'm here for you because together we can thrive, not just survive. Thank you for tuning in to the Private Practice Survival Guide podcast. I'm incredibly grateful to each and every one of you. Exciting news. We're now available everywhere, from Spotify to Apple Podcasts to YouTube or anywhere you like to listen to your podcasts. So watch, listen, and reach out. If you loved this episode, please drop a 5-star review. It truly means the world to me. Are you looking for more ways to elevate your practice? If so, now is your chance. Reach out, go to my website, or email me at brandon@wellnessworksmp.com. And remember, it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving.